Today's video is presented to you by the EA Creator Network. Special thanks to EA for letting me get early access to Madden 23 to capture this video footage for you today. If you want more exclusive Madden 23 content, be sure to subscribe and turn that notification bell on so you never miss an upload. What's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 23 video. In today's video, we're going to show you how to use the new next-gen play calling screen in Madden 23. Now, if you guys enjoy this video, if you like it, if it helps you out, make sure to go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Shows a lot of support on the channel, helps the videos get noticed. Also, if you're brand new here because you were searching on YouTube for Madden 23 content and you found my video, stay a while. Click that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on as well, so you guys are alerted when we drop additional videos. Let's get right on into it. Now, it is worth noting that everything you see here is from an early build of Madden 23, and it is a work in progress. Things could change, but here is the next gen play call screen. So if you're loading into Madden and you have the play call screen where it's either on your left or your right and it's kind of more vertically, that means you're on an old gen system. Unfortunately, this play call screen is only available on next gen, and I wanted to go over it in a video because it's a lot different. There's a lot more information. Some of you may be playing on next gen for the first time this year and you're a little bit confused, so we're going to help you out. On the very first screen, and we're basically going to work from left to right, we use our L1 button and our R1 button on PlayStation. It's going to be left bumper, right bumper on Xbox to toggle between the screens from left to right and right to left. But we start from left to right and we have the player screen. This is full of a lot of useful information because you can go through and see the attributes on players. You can see their X factors and abilities. When you scroll through them, you can use your right analog stick to go back and forth between X factors and abilities and what they do and what they, mean and what they do on the field, basically. And it just shows you pretty much like the important players on offense when you're on offense, and when you're on defense, it's going to do the same thing. The second list over is formation, and this is probably where you're going to spend 90%, if not more, of your time in the play calling screen. This is where you simply go through and pick your play. So you can use your D-pad to go up and down between formations, single back gun, goal line, Hail Mary, and then between the different formations, you have sets within those formations. So if we go to gun, right now we're on split wide receiver backfield. If we use our right D-pad or our right analog stick, actually just the right D-pad, my bad here, we can toggle through the different formations within shotgun. So we got doubles Y off, we got tight doubles, Y off, trio weak, and it tells you the number of plays in each formation. So for example, bunch offset has 18 plays within it. If we go ahead and select, we're going to use our X button on PlayStation or A on Xbox, and that's going to bring up the play art, and it goes up and down, right? So you can just press the down button to go to the next play, and you have your three options there, of course. Now from this screen, you can use your L1, R1 button or right bumper, left bumper, and cycle through the various formations within shotgun as well. So if you accidentally picked Y trio off weak or Y off trio weak and you wanted bunch to offset accidentally, you can just R1 right over there, and then you can still go up and down throughout the play. So there's a lot of ways to get to these things. You can also just back up with your circle button and go back to, single back or gun, whatever you want to do. There's a lot of ways to get to where you need to go. Now let's pay attention to what's at the bottom of your screen. So we have a way to favorite plays, and these are plays that are obviously your favorite to use. If you really like to use halfback draw, if you double tap X, because X is the button you need to select that play, but if you double tap it, look in the upper right part of that little box for that specific play. There is now a heart there. So I'm going to back out real quick and we'll get back to the formation. But if we go all the way over to favorites now, that play is in your favorites section. I don't know if there's a limit of how many plays can be in there, but if you look at the bottom right of the screen, actually you can't. Let me move my camera real quick. The bottom right of the screen tells you how many plays are in there. Right now we have one play. So let's continue to focus what's on the bottom of the screen while we are still in a formation shotgun at this point. And there's other ways to get to some of these screens, but this is where I find myself most of the time. So you're going to click in your right analog stick, R3 on PlayStation, for coach adjustments. On offense, there's not a lot to it. We got deep pass catching, intermediate pass catching, blocking, and ball carrier. You can basically toggle them between balanced, conservative, and aggressive. It gives you the pros and cons. The one that I use the most is usually conservative ball carrier, especially later in the game when you don't want to fumble or give up a turnover and you have the lead. It doesn't allow you to basically use juke moves, but that's a good trade-off for not fumbling the ball. So we'll show you coach adjustments on defense in a moment. From here, we can hit L2 or left trigger on Xbox and bring up our audibles, and this allows us to set 4 custom audibles in this specific formation. So we're in this gun tight flex, and we can change whatever 4 plays we want on audibles. These do not carry from game to game to game. You have to do it in game, so every time you play a game, if you want it set up this way, you'll have to go in and do it. If I wanted cross to be one of my audibles, I would, D-pad down or up to get to it, select it with X or A on Xbox, and it's now selected. We can go back and we'll see that that play is in one of our audibles in game. You can flip the play with R2 or right trigger on Xbox, and it does exactly what it says. It flips the play. And then if you want to do a random tight flex formation, I don't suggest using this, or I should say a random tight flex play in this formation. You can click in your left analog stick. It'll bring you into the game and just put you into one of these formations. Not really a good idea though if you're playing online head to head. Let's continue to move to the right before we get on defense and show you what that looks like. We have plays by concept. So we got run, option, quick pass, medium pass, deep pass. It still brings you to all of the different plays in your playbook, just a different way to find them. We then have play type, so you can go pass, run, RPO, and special is typically like, kicking a field goal, punting the football, things like that. You can go by personnel, so if you want specifically a play that has 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers, you can do that. We got 2 running backs, 3 tight ends. So again, just more ways to get to the plays, but for most people, I think they live in that formation section. There's just a lot of versatility with the next gen play calling screen. Back to our favorites. Remember, we showed you how to favorite a play, and as you add favorites on there, this will continue to grow, and it stays from game to game to game as long as you are in the same playbook. And then finally, we have recent plays. So if you play solo challenges in Madden Ultimate Team, or you just have a play that you run a lot, you're normally going to find it in the recent plays section. As I was working my way from left to right, you may have noticed that some of those options down at the bottom are still there, some of the same one we saw when we were under formation. One other quick thing with favorites, if we want to add a favorite, again, we're going to double tap the button that particular play is on. We have dagger on everything here, but we're going to double tap our square button. Notice the heart is there. Now if we go to favorites, both plays are there. If you want to remove a favorite, you double tap the same button again. So if I want to take halfback draw out of here, I'm going to double tap X, the heart goes away. I believe if we go back to favorites, it has now disappeared. Let's go ahead and take a look at it on defense now. On defense, they start you right out on the formation screen, but if you look to the right, and again, my face cam's kind of blocking it there, you can see the key players within each formation, and it also shows either the abilities or the X factors on defense for those players. You can't actually scroll through them, unfortunately, but the information is still there. Now, if we take a look at the bottom part of the screen under formation, we can double tap our L3 button, our left analog stick, to give us a random play in the 3-4 formation. If I went down to nickel, it would do the same thing. The right analog stick going right and left is going to change through the various packages. So right now we have defensive end pass rush, MLB swap, so you can kind of, not customize, but change around some of the formations and the way they are aligned as far as what players are in there at that time. You're going to access coach adjustments the same way you did on offense by clicking in your R3 button. There is a lot more to the defensive coach adjustment, so we have auto flip can be turned on or off, auto alignment, ball and air on defense. You can change it between play ball, play receiver. There's a bunch of different options. You got to go through all of them. I'm not going to do that in this video, but the one that I do want to point out is new this year is the zone coverage option, and it's set to default by default, but if you go to the right or the left, it can switch it over to match coverage, and it says zone defenders read the routes of the receivers to determine the coverage responsibilities. So if you're not familiar with match coverage, you might want to read up on it, but essentially the reason they did this is because there are a lot of plays, cover 3, cover 4, that are match coverage by default, and players who don't really know a lot about match coverage or just the game of football in general, they're more so playing a video game, they would pick these plays and think that because this is what the play art shows, that's how it should react, and there was, people getting open, and all of a sudden everybody blamed it on the defense and that the defense wasn't playing the way it was supposed to, when in reality it was a match coverage and it did what it was supposed to. Somebody just picked a play that beat that match coverage. So again, you can turn this off and everybody's going to play their zones how the play art looks. If you are familiar and good with match coverage, you may want to toggle that on. It's going to be for more advanced players. This is the third year that we've had the next-gen play call screen, and substitutions can be very tricky if you're new to it, so you're going to access this on the screen by hitting triangle on PlayStation or Y on Xbox, and it brings up, for the specific formation that you were in this case nickel 2-4, a player, and that player is going to be highlighted in like a navy blue color. You can see number 58 is Jay Hollins is selected right now. If we go down, it will cycle through all of the players. These are the players that are in the game in this formation right now. So if we were crazy and we wanted to take Aaron Donald out of the game, we're highlighted over him. It's yellow on your left, navy blue on the bottom, 99 in that play art. We would select him with either X on PlayStation or A on Xbox, and it's now going to bring up the list of available players to sub in. So we're just going to go ahead and put somebody in there, and we hit X again on PlayStation, A on Xbox, and now he is in the game, and you can see 99 on this play art was replaced with 96. That's how you do a substitution. Now that's specifically in this nickel 2-4. If I want to make a substitution in dime, I have to go down to dime. Say I want to do the dime 1-4. We got to toggle over with our right D-pad to go to 1-4. We now select substitution by hitting triangle again, and we want to take Aaron Donald out again. Maybe we're giving him a rest. We're going to scroll down to whatever player we want to put in, select him, and that has now changed him in this specific dime 1-4 formation. Selecting your play via concept, kind of the same concept as we did on offense. This is different in a way that we have man blitz, zone blitz, 3 deep, cover 3, cover 4. There's a bunch of different options to get to different plays. You're going to be in formation most of the time, but if you're comfortable with searching this way, you certainly can. We have man coverage, zone coverage, blitz, goal line, all under play type, and then we have our favorites. So same thing on offense. Let's go back over to formation. Say we want to favorite this nickel 3-3 cover buzz 3. We're going to double tap our triangle button. You'll see the heart pops up there on the upper right of the triangle play. If we back out and go over to favorites, boom, it's right there. If we want to take the Mike Blitz 0 out of our favorite play, it's the X play right now. The X button will double tap it, the heart will be removed, and if we go back to favorites or go away from favorites and back to it, that play is now out of there. And then one more time, recent plays is just going to be the plays that you run a ton, and you can still add favorites from here. We'll add this cover 3 hard flat by double tapping triangle, and if we go back over to favorites, there it is. Then we can take it out by double tapping square for the cover 3 hard flat, and boom, it's removed. And I think that covers everything, offense and defense, the next gen play call screen. If you got any questions, leave it down below in the comment section. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.